Hello. How are you all doing? Oh, looks like I'm a little slow today. That's how it is when you have more people on your internet. I have the boys here. So let me check my settings here. How's your fun day Friday? Huh? Are you having a fun day Friday? Happy Friday. Happy first day of or I should say, first moments of the weekend after 5 o'clock. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I'm looking like I'm lagging a little bit, um, but I pray all will be well here in a minute. But for all of you all who do not know me, my name is Tiffany Newton. I'm a Master Certified Health and Life Coach, and I help co parents maintain and establish healthy relationships with one another so they can raise emotionally healthy children without experiencing all the long term communication issues. And they can do that by using my child first method. And we're in the middle of my 30-day challenge, and I'm just so excited because this is day 27. It's just crazy that today is day 27, and you've been on this journey with me, my co-parenting journey, and I definitely appreciate you being on this journey with me. In the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about my child first method. And this week, we have been talking about letting go, and it has been so good. Yesterday, we had a special guest on, Katisha Katie Reed, talking about mental health and co-parenting. And and as you have learned throughout this challenge, the child first method is um, like a vault. We've compared it to the vault, and the combinations of that vault is in the child. So the child is an acronym. So child is communication, which involves partnership and collaboration, honoring the other parent's role, involvement with the child, letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, as well as determining what's best for the child. So this week we have talked about letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and it has been so good. We talked about everything, and I want you to go back and look at, especially, um, which one was it? Oh, it was so many of them. I want to say it was part two of how to let go of my ex. I think if I would recommend anyone, any one of them, I would recommend that one. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining. So today I'm going to talk about what I didn't tell you about my co-parenting journey. And this one is it's a little difficult for me today, but um, I felt like this was something that I needed to share. God really put it on my heart to share this with you today. So that's why I'm wondering if that's why I'm having communication issues here on Facebook and YouTube. I do. I am on Instagram as well, and I'm good there. It looks like I'm having some lagging issues with um, with Facebook and Instagram. So I pray all is well, and If it's too bad, if the video is too bad, because this is definitely something that I want you to be able to go back and see, I will be recording. So the enemy will not get the best of me in this situation. I will outsmart him. So, what it is, thank you so much for joining. So, I've told you, bits and pieces of my health challenges. Um, I've had over the past few years. The turning point started around January of 2021. And what I didn't mention in 2020, after my ex and I separated and a few months later divorced, I was depressed majority of that year. I began to drink more than I had ever had, just to numb the pain and kind of distract myself from what was really going on. Uh, I made a few really bad decisions that impacted my safety and the safety of my children, and I'm not proud of it. But I do realize that on this side of healthy, it was a way of me coping with what was going on in my new life. So, in the midst of my healthy challenges, I didn't know what was going on, and the doctors didn't either. What appeared to be, out of nowhere, I mentioned about pulmonary embolism, blood clots in both my lungs, you know, which led me to being hospitalized, and then the fibromyalgia diagnosis. And in the midst of that, I mean, I was already struggling with migraines, sleep apnea, anxiety, and depression. I mean, you would think that that would be enough to drive me crazy. And, but these new issues, they were something that I really couldn't shake. I just couldn't move on from them. It really impacted my relationship with my children, my work, and, my from Florida to um, to help me out because of everything that I was dealing with. Uh, I was forced to take a leave from work to focus on my health. And during my time of self-reflection, while I was on leave, God really spoke to me and He led me to take different steps towards my healing physically and emotionally. And ultimately, I let go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas during that time. Thank you so much for joining. And one thing I discovered on this path more than ever is how vital my emotional wellness is. I thought I had let go of my ex, but all along I was carrying it all in my body in silence. But my body wasn't silent. I trained it my entire life to hold all the traumas, the hurt, the abuse, the acts of violence, the negative words spoken to me until it had to be released. And I believe our bodies can hold on to our emotions. It gives us triggers and signs that something is off. but we don't consider it could be emotional. We're just treating the symptoms. If you go to the doctor and you're having migraines or you're having stomach pains, if nothing shows up on an x-ray, which normally it doesn't show up on an MRI, normally doesn't, especially in the beginning, they're just going to do something to medicate it to reduce those symptoms. Um, so our body gives us triggers. It gives us signs that something is wrong. And if we allow it to go on, it will and can get worse until it has to be restored, repaired, and I didn't get to that point. Um, God definitely spared me. He spared my life. So the concept of holding on to emotions is often, which suggests that our emotional experiences can have physical manifestations in the body, which is exactly what happened to me. So while emotions are primarily products of the brain and the nervous system, they can influence various physiological processes and bodily systems. So, for example, with our mental health and our physical health being so closely connected, um, it can cause us to have, the stress and immune functions can be impacted. Whether it's, chronic stress and anxiety, it can actually weaken the immune system. It actually cause us to be susceptible to infections. And it's amazing how strong our emotions are, but it's designed to work together. Um, a, a few other ways that our mental health and physical health are affected is our um, I've had sleep apnea. Some things they say are genetic, but I've I don't always believe that because I've seen improvements, that they said they were genetic. I've seen improvements in my health. But a lot of things that um, stress and depression, um, how it affects our body, it can be detrimental and it can cause increased issues in our body. For example, the cardiovascular health. It's quite a few of us that have high blood pressure. Because and cardio issues because we are constantly stressed. We're depressed, and all those things are being stored in our body. And also, if you're having stomach issues, stomach pains on a regular basis, your gut brain, that's like our second brain, that can be impacted, which also impacts our digestion. So, can you see how a lot of these things, physical health wise, can impact, or I should say, mental health wise, can impact our physical health? Um, Even mental health problems, it can contribute to our appetite, which can cause us to eat more or eat less. Um, so that can contribute to bad weight and eating habits. One thing that I dealt with, addictive behaviors. Thank God I didn't get to that point where it was addictive, but the consumption, or I should say the increase of alcohol consumption, can definitely be a byproduct of something that we're dealing with emotionally. So, and then, we talked about self care this week. How do you think your mental health can impact you wanting to really take care of yourself? Will you, take your prescription drugs the way you should? Or will you even go to a doctor to get help? Will you take out the time to take care of yourself and do things that you enjoy if you're dealing mentally with something? So I really want to admonish you today. Um, if you have, just do some self reflection, because I want this to be the time that because it's the last that we're going to talk about letting go. But I believe that we can go through things in life to where we can learn from them and go back and help other people. We can pull them up. And so I truly believe that what I've gone throughout my journey in co-parenting, it is to prevent other people from going through the same thing. Because you don't have to deal with the excessive, the intense, the chronic anxiety, stress, depression, health issues, migraines, a lot of things that we deal with, we don't have to deal with them. So I just want to admonish you, because the answer is what we've talked about this week. And I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, hat, everything. But here I am on the other side. And I can tell you, you can let go. You can forgive. And then sometimes, as I realized in my journey, that other things that I had in my life, I needed to address as well during that time. But you have to take out the time to do it, because it was showing up all in my body. People look at me now and be like, oh, you just look so happy. You just, it's God. I can't say it's nothing but God, because I definitely would not have been here if I hadn't let go, if I hadn't forgiven. And also pray and ask God, if you're a Christian, pray and ask God for grace and wisdom to make good decisions as you heal. Because sometimes when we're going through this healing journey, you know, we can have times where we are very emotional, and we can make decisions that aren't in our best interest, in the best interest of our child. So we have to, just ask God for wisdom, ask God for grace, to help us. And then also create a support system. If you don't have one already, create a support system. Um, because it's important for us to have people around us that are there for us while we're here healing, that's there for us with our children while we're healing. And then focus on the needs of our child. Focus on our child. Don't allow yourself to be so distracted you can't see them and see what they may be going through. and seek professional help with a therapist or me, a coach. I want to leave you with this quote by Robert Frost. The best way out is always through. You have to be able to go through some things. You have to be able to get through some things in order to come out on the other side. So the best way out, the best way to let go is to go through. So we got to go through it. We got to go through this, go through the pain, go through the discomfort. And your mental health is everything. Prioritize it. Make the time like your life depends on it, because it does. And I'm speaking from experience. So I really hope that you got something out of today. I know I've been seeing some technical difficulties on my YouTube page. I will, if I go back and I look at it and I do, and it does appear to be unsalvageable, I will definitely re-record this because it is that important. And hopefully I can remember everything I said. But I thank you all so much for joining, trying to stick in there with me. I've been seeing you all popping off and on. And join me tomorrow. I have 3 more days left, 28, 29, 30. I have 3 more days left. And believe me, you do not want to miss Sunday at all. I have a very special guest coming on, and you do not want to miss Sunday. So until then, if you don't follow me, I'm on Instagram at I am Tiffany D. Newton. I'm on Facebook at Tiffany D. Newton. And I am also on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, I'm sorry, the Teach Me Tribe. Check out our group there, as well as we have a YouTube channel called Teach Me Tribe. All the lives are there on that channel as well. And please subscribe while you're there. So I definitely look forward to seeing you all on tomorrow. Thank you again for joining. Bye-bye.